Just waiting for the boys to ready up, get on into the game. And as we look towards it, I guess for me, I don't know about you, Dean, but I just really need to see a little bit more from Forrester. I think he was very quiet in the previous map. Sviat, not as present as we've seen him in the past either. And like we said, Kinky, we certainly expected a lot more from, just based on previous performances. But if we see even just Forrester stepping it up and starting to have, you know, more of a decent game, this could be a very tight series for AGO to work with.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I believe Forrester was maybe 2-11 at halftime, if I remember correctly. Either way, though, didn't have a great performance. We did mention it at the time because he's normally a player that can frag fairly well. So it wasn't what we wanted to see. Coming onto Dust 2 now, though, of course, we do need to see everyone stepping up. As you were saying, even the players towards the bottom of that scoreboard for AGO were still having impact, and I feel like that was kind of the difference maker. As we do kick it off, AGO on the T side here of Dust 2, DreamEaters on the defense as they actually get fairly offensive in general, pushing up short. Speedak is able to take down PHR to start things off in this round. And overall, some pretty good damage being put in, but there's only one player on this B-bomb site right now. Forrester's going to have to hold this down like an absolute hero, and he does manage to start it off with a quick headshot on Sparrow. And a trade coming through in mid as well. It's a good position currently for DreamEaters. A man advantage in play. The bomb actually having to be, I believe, retrieved from the window. It's actually dropped underneath it as well. So that's such a tough spot for them to try and actually get back from now.
Yeah, indeed. Gaber's going to have to go out to try and get it, as Grubby already did. And 3 players watching him down, ready to swing on him as well. It's being spotted. There's the swing coming out, and Kinky finds the kill to put it 1-0 in favor of that CT side. A strong start. But will they be able to connect round number 2? We know AGO are a team that like to make aggressive economic decisions after losing that first round. And on the T side of Dust, I could certainly see a scout coming out into the hands of Sparrow alongside a couple pistols, but it does look like they just want to go for the full eco. Glocks and nothing else as they attempt a bomb plant in this round. That is really their best opportunity. And even a step behind that, if they can just avoid dying to these SMGs, there are 3 in play right now. That would really help them to limit the DreamEaters economy a little bit more.
Certainly is the goal. Are they going to be able to get anything in, though, is the question. Dust 2 is a map where I feel like these eco runs are very, very difficult to work with. You do have to cover quite a bit of ground before being able to actually get into those bomb sites, or in the case of B, you have to go through such a tiny choke point, either that or try and approach on mid, where then you have the longer range angles, or at least the potential for them if DreamEaters are playing relatively passive. So it's tough to make it work, but let's see. Maybe they can use those 5 Glocks to overwhelm a couple of players, maybe drop a couple of weapons and do a bit of damage, and I guess if they're fortunate enough, maybe even get on towards one of those bomb sites for a plant. And as they make their way up short, there actually is a possibility. The closest player being Speedak, playing with an MP9, I believe, down in the CT spawn. Then there's Kinky over towards long. He can rotate back with the Yogg to watch the cross. But they are beginning to push in, so there's actually a real good opportunity for this bomb to be planted. Let's see if anything can happen. Furlan long range on the Glock, going to find 1 frag. That gives them the bomb plant as well. So overall, this is going really well for AGO, and they're continuing to get the damage in. But after things kind of quiet down, it is still a man advantage in favor of DreamEaters, of course, and they do also have a defuse kit. And look at this from AGO, they're not really looking to win it right now. I think their goal is to maybe catch 1 more player off guard, but sadly Sviat, a little bit too intelligent for it, does expect that mid flank.
Yeah, maybe hoping to catch them as they push towards the bomb side, you know, looking towards long or something like that. But he said, conscious of the angle, Sviat takes them both down, and 2-0. DreamEaters now face into a full buy from AGO. They had quite a hefty investment into SMGs in the previous round. Even despite that, they managed to pull themselves out 2 AUGs, a Scout, an M4, and a UMP. But it's their economic situation that I'm kind of worried about. After investing so heavily into the previous round in SMGs and not being able to carry anything forward, so they have to upgrade onto multiple players, it means that, you know, you see Sviat and Speed on very low money, Kinky as well, pretty low down, while Crad and Forrester are going to be able to invest into the next round. So it splits their economy quite a bit. It does set them up for, at least if they lose this round, by the time it's 2-2, they can get a full buy with maybe even a double op setup out. But it does put a lot of pressure on them right here, because they come into this round with a disadvantage in terms of the weaponry and certainly the manpower, as Forrester goes down to that AWP on middle straight away. It's only the UMP drop, though. Still the majority of the chances for DreamEaters to come out on top in this round are still in play. The AUGs. Curious that they're going down towards the CT spawn. Kinky and Sviat both down there, which won't help them a whole lot if AGO do decide to commit towards short as a push, which they seem to be thinking about. And giving up all other map control, they've practically no other choice but to go for this.
Forlan, or rather PHR, I believe that was on mid, almost getting himself into a little bit of trouble. You can see his teammates, of course, committing to A. It's not a good setup for DreamEaters to try and hold this down. Speedak actually was able to find one on mid, and Sviat coming in through the smoke gets one as well. But again, the trades do come back successfully for AGO, so they are able to bring it down to a 3 versus 1, leaving Krad as the last man standing, as he looks to try and make his way towards short. A peek coming through from Sparrow actually gives him the opportunity now to try and go for this. Opens it up with one quick frag. Does also have a flash in play. Gonna go ahead and try that out and see if he can quickly take a headshot onto someone, but looks like he's decided to just back off, grab that up and save it, which I suppose is reasonable as the time already ticks away quite low. Having a look at the money as well for DreamEaters, it's really not great. Forrester will be able to buy in the next round. Krad can drop a rifle, but if they didn't actually save over this up, then they probably wouldn't be looking at a buy.
Even still, the buy will be kind of hard to really think about taking out. They will only have 3 rifles in play. 2 players going to have to go down to probably pistols. With an AWP out, it is certainly something that they can consider, and they didn't even take too long to think about it. Going straight over onto it. Speed's going to have the AWP. Pistols on Kinky. Sviat eventually going to buy up. Okay, I thought he was just going to play the round with 1500. So he's got a P250 in armor. It's definitely not the strongest of positions to be in. It's not the weakest either. Very good chance to get damage done on this DreamEaters side. They don't want to allow AGO to build up momentum. One thing you definitely don't want this team to have in their on their side.
Ooh, aggression coming through. Sviat, I believe, was slightly spotted. Of course, with the short control having been the holding position for DreamEaters as well, they do give up long. In the meantime, that's actually allowed for AGO to just run completely up long uncontested. They did end up losing 1 player, but they traded it back, and overall they're in a pretty good position now as the bomb will go down. And again, it's put into a pretty difficult retake here for the CT side. Speedak almost had an opportunity arise as the smoke faded away, but sadly not quite. And now if they want to make this retake work, they're going to need to find a quick frag. They have a good amount of utility. They have a defuse kit in the hands of Krad, or rather in the utility belt of Krad. But as no opportunities arise, as no one shows themselves, already it looks like they are just going to decide to back off and save. With 4 weapons in play, I would say that's probably the correct decision.
Yeah, indeed. They'll only have themselves 1 weaker investment into the next round. And even at that, Kinky could decide to take out something like a scout, try and get heavy chips of damage done. Even a shotgun, close hold on B tunnels. You know, there's a lot of stuff he could have here in a weaker investment that could still be pretty effective, considering his teammates could drop him something along the lines of the shotgun or the scout. Depends what he wants to roll with. I'm curious to see what weapon he takes. An SMG probably the most common to come out. Sometimes you'll see the Wilder. Okay, no, he's just going for a Deagle. Not even going to go for a scout or anything like that. Fair enough. Allows the rest of his teammates to get utility out and him to get armor. 2-2 though. AGO starting to build up the rounds here on the T side. And DreamEaters, this is one of their last chances economically to make a stand before AGO start to really pull ahead. With 1 weaker weapon, it's not a big deal. Sviat's playing, Kinky's playing over on short. He's going to be just kind of aggressing forward bit by bit, making sure there's no one here. Playing contact, maybe he gets 1 shot off and then retreats. But it's all, he's kind of just buying information for his team and keeping a little bit of map control. Start of the round. As they push up long, though, they're heard. Smokes go down on the cross. He's already closed in the distance and sitting on that bomb site behind a Molotov. He eventually gets taken down by an AK. Krad's down as well. Sviat picks up 1. Forrester in with another. This could be very good for the CT side. Now they'll probably actually go for this. Even despite low HP on Sviat, he can hold down with the AWP and try to get some damage done from afar as his teammates close in the distance on the bomb site. Bomb only just going down now. They have got kits in play. Bits of utility here and there as well. But AGO are planted in. They've got their heels dug. They know that long is clear, so they're only worried about CT and short.
Yeah, which of course is where the majority of these CTs are coming from. Forest are leading the way as actually they do charge forward, spotting out that player on the ramp. They're able to actually drop PHR on Goose, but Caper, he's trying to get the best stun that he possibly can. Only one being allowed, now the bomb's actually being defused. Can Sparrow stop it? Not able to line up the shot. That was his one opportunity. So do not miss your chance, Sparrow. He missed it. It's very awkward indeed. A third round for DreamEaters. It's not too bad considering there is still good money for AGO. But a little bit of an awkward one in general. Not really his fault either, considering the smoke is down. It's a little bit of a shot that you have to kind of... I guess it's a little bit lucky, because even though you know where the bomb's planted, the player can be standing in a lot of different kind of ways that I guess exposes different parts of their bodies. Or doesn't.
Yeah, indeed, there's a wide variety of angles you can defuse that bomb from, so... You have to kind of just guess. Spray and pray, so to speak. That's the problem with holding long. I mean, really the pressure for that round wasn't on him. He was holding long, keeping the information free so his teammates could focus on short and CT. Once they fall, the round's pretty much over the majority of the time. He can't close in the distance on time, but I still think him holding that position was the right call. This is a nice opening duel won by Furlan. PHR in there with the support flash. Sparrow just goes up and takes down the player holding the bomb site. Now in CT, the Molotov goes down, so nobody's here to contest, and the bomb plant will be found. Furlan jumps over the wall. I thought he was going to jump down towards Fiat, and that would have been suicide, but luckily doesn't, and leaves us in a 4v2. Now, this time, I would rather see DreamEaters save. They've not got a lot of money to work with. Their loss bonus isn't going to be great in the next round, so saving over these two weapons at least puts them in a better position, because right now they're working against 4 players and the clock, whereas in the next round they'll have 3 more to support them, and indeed the time on their side, only against 1 more opponent. The chances of winning are much higher with 2 weapons saved over than with 2 weapons going for this round retake right here, but nonetheless they lose it. It's not quite going to work out, and unfortunately that does put us into a 3-3 scoreline with DreamEaters having only an AWP carried forward. Again, I think they went a little bit over aggressive there. There was no need to really try that. Chances of you winning that 2v4 are much lower than the chances of you winning the 5v5 with 2 weapons. And the bomb not planted.
Even with the op being saved over though from for Crad, it still doesn't put them in a position where they can buy. They're able to get out a bit of utility. I think they got $1,900 in that previous round, if I saw correctly. So it's just not a great position to be in. Even with the 2,400 in the next, there's still going to be a couple players that are sure they'll be getting the buyout, but it would be with like no utility, etc. So it's not ideal. Op already being taken out of play also as Crad tried to get aggressive and see if he could open things up. There is a bit of a gamble coming through from DreamEaters with that B stack in play. So maybe this could pay off as we actually do see AGO beginning to creep forward. Furlan throwing that Molotov, I think this is when they look to try and pounce now. The flash goes in, he does so much damage, but eventually gets Zeused. He's going to go down, it gives the opportunity for a weapon, but it's not going to be picked up as of yet. And it looks like overall AGO are managing to contain the issue. But decent damage at least being found. That was, considering what DreamEaters had invested into that round, I think they can be pretty happy with 2 frags coming through. Unfortunately for Forrester though, he doesn't really get any loss bonus for the Zeus frag. Oh, not loss bonus, rather, kill bonus. Me silly Mitch.
Dilly Billy Dean. But look,
My
it's
name isn't Billy.
well, I stand corrected. How aggressive Grubby is, my god. That's a Z block moment right there. Just run straight down middle. How's he there?
Sideways.
We're talking about a 5-3 scoreline. It's not ideal. Not ideal at all. Right now, AGO are coming ahead on the T side. They've got some pretty significant control over the economy game. Like, they got players at 10k times 3. It's a dangerous spot to have the T's in.
Smoke out towards long. Indicates rather that they are looking to try and get that long control. So Ruby actually able to open it up again. We've seen him of course sprinting down mid in that previous round. This time Crad wants to try and take the fight aggressively on mid. He ends up getting taken down immediately. Smoke going in towards CT then puts so much pressure on Sviat in the CT spawn to try and hold it down alongside the player up on window, and the spam through the smoke just doing so much damage. But it was actually Furlan who came out on the worst side of it. He's left with 7 HP, but PHR moving forward on B. He takes a headshot, and a 5-on-3, I don't know, DreamEaters. Are they going to be left to save again? Maybe with that frag from Kinky, they can give themselves a chance.
I think it's still going to be the save, just the amount of time it's going to take to make the rotation all the way over to B. Again, if you're going to go for a save with low economy, go for a save. Don't go for exits. Kinky dies going in through the T-spawn for what would have been a completely pointless exit. Even if he finds 2-3 kills there, it does nothing. AGO have so much money built up, and all it serves to do is risk losing a rifle that DreamEaters really need in the next round. Again, Sviat going forward. I just don't understand what the point of this is. They now are saving 1 op. They have no money for the next round. They have 1 rifle instead of 3. And like at this point, if they don't have a read on the opponent's economy, I mean, let me just say they definitely have a read on what the opponent's economy is. They know they've got a lot of money. I mean, they've all got the scoreboard, shows you how many rounds they've survived for and stuff. There is no world in which going aggressive there and trying to get exit frags makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why he was actually going through the spawn. His teammate was still over on long, so he may as well have went and joined there. Wouldn't have been able to have actually lost the weapon instead. It means they come into this one with not as many rifles. Speedek has the op to work with. Sviat already taken down, though, over towards long. A 5-on-4 in play again for AGO as they look to extend that lead up to 7-4. And B-Stack coming through, similar to what we've seen from that previous kind of eco half investment from DreamEaters. As they do get aggressive out through the tunnels. The problem is, again, the commitment already coming through on A means the bomb's going to go down. And at this point, the round is pretty much over and done with. I think Speedax should probably save the op. Even though they have enough money, it's just, there's not really much chance of them really getting any gun. If they can take down Sparrow, that's a second op to be picked up, perhaps. We do see AGO going to try and give him the help. Although he's gone down, their goal now just being to not let that second op to be retrieved.
Speed catches 1 there onto Furlan. But the bomb is about to explode. And AGO served themselves well by taking down this op. They have a lot of money, so they can hunt if they want to. Doesn't look like they're feeling that, though. As the bomb explodes, it's 7-3. And AGO are pulling ahead with DreamEaters saving forward that AWP. They're going to have themselves the economy for a full buy with lots of money left over on speed. All scopes coming through. 4 AUGs and an AWP. I'm not able to spot anything on the cross there to open us up. We're going to see nade usage on long. But there's not a whole lot for AGO to do really this early on. They're posted up. They're playing slow. They're looking for any aggression to come through from DreamEaters. DreamEaters happy to play a passive game. Only problem with that is they get no information. They're not really challenging on mid either, so the short push can easily come up, but they're alright with that. They've given up short control and seized long instead. They've got a player posted up to watch, I believe it's Speed 4K. Posted up with the AWP to watch the short cross as well. So they shouldn't lose control of the bomb sites without at least being able to contest. Drop a few players in the process.
Yeah, it looks like it will be the long control again being tested over towards the position that Kinky and I believe that is Speedak, as you said, currently holding with that AWP as well in play. Kinky actually just going to get up close on the blue box. Will this position be cleared instantly? With this, you want Speedak to kind of take the first contact, although that's not needed. Kinky's still able to find 2 frags, but Groovy trades it back. That opens up A now. There's only the 1 player on the actual bomb site, and as Crad goes down with 0 success, the hopes in this round for DreamEaters being able to pick it up begin to fall apart. Sviat on a flank. This isn't expected. Is able to get the first and the second as the bomb is dropped in sight as well, leaving Sparrow in a 1-on-2. It's a difficult position to be in. He will actually retrieve the bomb, as of course Fiat doesn't want to risk being taken down and leaving Forrester in the 1v1. So they let the bomb get planted. But Sparrow doesn't know where both of them currently are. He knows there's at least one towards long. He gets Forrester, and now he should notice Fiat's in this position because he showed himself earlier on. Getting up close though on the Og, spamming away the dink, the damage, and the death for Sparrow. As it is indeed a fort finally being found for DreamEaters, but it was a close one. They took quite a lot of damage in the process, only surviving with one.
Yeah, indeed. That was a very nice peek from Sviat and a very nice round indeed. And right at the end there, 3 headshots I think it took to take his opponent down as he pushed around 1, 2, 3. Wall bang headshots, of course, coming through in plentiful supply. DreamEaters, though, have to get a lot of money back in their hands. A lot of reinvestment. That puts AGO in a prime position to eliminate this economy right here and now. You see that like AGO still have 2 more full buys waiting for them, but they lose the opening duel as Fiat again claims control of long. AGO sending 3 players out here to try and deal with them, one of which is, of course, the AWP of Sparrow. Dangerous foe to challenge on long range, and so DreamEaters decide it's best not to. They give up the control of long. They're not going to contest that any further, instead seizing short and holding that down, allowing AGO to approach the bomb site. And of course, they can't cross to the bomb site without the information being taken by the CT player of Sviat, I believe, is in CT. And or indeed with the smokes going on the cross. That would prompt the rotations from B. AGO now waiting for, again, DreamEaters to make any aggressive plays, but they should know that's not going to come through. With the man advantage in play for the CT side, they're not the ones that have to make a move.
Yeah, big gap in that smoke. I was just going to say they do need a second one to go down, which they will eventually. Molly on towards the bomb site. Kinky drops the smoke of his own. That could give them a chance to actually get up close to set up for the retake. But we do see Forlin jumping up on top of the bomb site, being able to isolate the 1v1 up against Crad. And now pulling it back to a 4-on-4. A bit of a gap, though, in that smoke does give Speedak the shot towards Groovy. So it's traded back again. The man advantage in play for DreamEaters as they look to set up the retake. Are they going to be able to actually turn it into a round win is the question. Speedak looking tempted to maybe wrap around towards long, realizes he doesn't really have the time to do so. And as Sparrow drops on long now, it gets very, very difficult for the remaining AGO players. Trapped in towards the bomb site pretty much. Furlan only able to find one, leaves Caper all alone as he sits towards Goose. And at this point, he's a sitting duck pretty much because he's easily traded at the very least. And even then, that wasn't needed because Forrester just gets the headshot.
Well, DreamEaters is going to be happy to pull that back, and I believe they played that round pretty well. Playing it passive, they didn't give any extra opportunities for AGO to find kills that they shouldn't really have found. Even when they lose a player on the bomb site cross, they're not rushing in to try and get a trade immediately. They allow the AWP in the hands of Speed to just post up, wait, find the kill eventually. 7-5. AGO now are pulling ahead, or have pulled ahead a little bit, but DreamEaters are starting to close that gap in and secure themselves a better economy. Even still, though, it's not fully looking good. Kinky full blind here, but so too is his opponent, Grubby. Doesn't matter, though. The trade comes through in the end. Flashbang returned by Grubby. He's going to catch a player in the open. Sviat down low HP, but be careful of the push from CT. Speed just goes right on through. This is getting dangerous now. The shot from Sparrow. What's he doing? He's taken 2. One was a no-scope wallbang. And the second just straight out the doors. Now Crad with 8 HP and an AWP needs to hightail it out of there, as this is going to be a save from DreamEaters most likely. They haven't got a lot of money for the next round, but they are coming towards the B bomb site.
I suppose the bomb's only gone down now, but with Crad on 8 HP, it really leaves it all on the Forrester pretty much. So I probably would have agreed with you with the save coming through, especially since Forrester then could drop over some weapons, but it looks like they want to go for it, and Sparrow posted up on this angle already. Crad slowly creeping into it, an easy shot to be taken for Sparrow. And I think at this point Forrester, I was going to say, needs to back off, but the peek comes through from PHR. He doesn't want to allow that to happen. It's going to be an 8 for AGO being found. There's a massive round from Sparrow, as you can see. And at this point, AGO already having at least a slight lead heading into that second half, are putting themselves in a real good position. Again, remember, this is the map choice of DreamEaters. The previous time we've seen these two teams play on Dust 2 a couple weeks back, it was AGO who took that victory 16-13. And they're certainly on track to perhaps do so again. Walking into into yet another B stack though. This has been so common. This is the third B stack I think we've actually seen come in from DreamEaters. AGO, this is the second time they've ran into it. This time it gets extremely dangerous. But Caper finds 2 back quickly. That is very fortunate indeed to keep them in a winnable position now with the 2v2 with Speedak being low as well. But the bomb is dropped in a pretty difficult position for them to try and retrieve. They do need to work together to do so. Oh, the flash is perfect, but Caper, he's able to get out of the open rather and out of trouble.
Nice shot connected by Sparrow. Down goes Speed. It's all on Sviat. He's got the bomb, but such low HP. This is going to be hard. At least if he takes Caper down, he's only dealing with an AWP. Caper inches forward and picks up that bomb, slowly walking out of there. Sparrow's watching the angle, waiting for the peak to come on through, and there it is. Eventually, it's going to be given to him, and so too is the 9th round to his side. As it's going to be 9-5. AGO having a very good T side, and they're on track to make 10 happen. DreamEaters have built up a strong enough economy, however, that the full buy is possible. That is always positive. And get out full rifles alongside an AWP. A match pause comes through with limited enough utility. I mean, they still do manage full smokes alongside a lot of Molotovs. 1 kit as well. I think Sviat can afford to take another kit or maybe just 2 flashbangs. But I think this pause is almost definitely going to be from DreamEaters as they attempt to just figure out what they want to do here. Maybe we're going to see a bit of a different approach on the CT side. Some focused aggression, I'd imagine.
Yeah, even then, I'm not too sure what they're going to go for, because we've seen them try and get aggressive over towards short. We haven't really seen them, I guess, try and push that long house, but that's very difficult to do, of course, so it would certainly be a risk. Perhaps they could get the up out through mid with a smoke to peek into lower, something along those lines, get the boost going on short again. It's going to be interesting to see what they actually do decide on. But yeah, for the moment, still discussing things. It's a decent enough buy. Forrester still has plenty of money in the reserve. He could buy up a nade as well, I suppose. Sviat can still get a bit more utility. But it's still not going to be perfect, of course. It looks like we should be getting back into it in a moment. We can hear the chat ticking away. Tick, tick, ticking away, Mitch.
Tick-tocking away, perhaps.
Yeah, it's not a clock, though. It's a chat. And it makes tick noises. It doesn't make a talk noise, does it?
It's like the app, TikTok.
Oh, that's terrible. Don't reference things like that on stream near me. I'll have to go.
I gotta leave. Yeah, hopefully no more bees today anyways. I'll be able to keep you around for the rest of the series. Did you ever find the wasp afterwards?
No, I think I might have killed it with the shoe, but I wasn't sure, because the second I swung it was just gone. It was just gone. But I think I did kill it. It was chilling on my wall, very, very close to where I'm sitting right now, so it scared me. But yeah, Speedak able to find 1 quick kill on the up. Traded back though, it is actually Sviat that falls, but again returned by Crad, leaves them in a decent position. But Furlan, if he can find this one, he opens it up. That'd be the A bomb site under their control if they wished. But he decides against continuing to take that risk. Doesn't want to fight on his own. Instead, wants to try and work alongside his teammates that he still has to I guess actually try and get this one done with, rather than taking individual fights.
DreamEaters, I mean, they're ahead by 1. They've got not a whole lot of information to work with, though, and with a B split on the cards, well, maybe not a B split, just a B push through middle. DreamEaters have given up all control of short. They're not going to get any information on this. Until, of course, the push comes down through top mid. That's not... it's expensive information, but it might work, because Speed's not expected to be here. The top mid push has been working out very well for DreamEaters in a lot of these rounds when they've gone for it, but this time eventually he gets shut down. Still leaving Speed in play, though, for a fast rotation down short. They're expecting it, though. You can see Grubby's now just going to be watching it, waiting for the peak to come through. Spots out. Now knows that it's an AWP. You're definitely not going to be re-peeking that. And this makes it very, very difficult for DreamEaters to make it in there and get that retake. Short control in the hands of the T side. On planted for them. They've got a player about to be Molotov'd out. Forrester with the read, but nobody's really going to be able to capitalize on it is the problem. As he's pushed into the open, it just means he's going to be joining the fight. Able to find himself 1, but no more. And that's a little bit awkward. Grubby's still in position, though, with the AWP, and he could shut down this bomb. There's 1. Now the defuse very difficult to connect. Grubby has to peek though. Forrester knows it, catches an off angle, and takes him down. Doesn't have time though. That's the problem. Oh, he does. Does he just about have time? I think he does. Wow, green light comes on.
That was nerve-wracking right there. Super close, but DreamEaters do just about manage to clinch out that 6th round. Even then, though, AGO are still in a pretty good position. We know that they're a pretty strong CT side here on Dust 2. Although I would say their T side may be a little bit stronger in general. But yeah, but overall, when you have a look at even how that scoreboard went, with the guns in play, it was mostly AGO taking all of those rounds. There was a couple spread out every now and again for DreamEaters, but if they hadn't taken that pistol, they would have been looking at potentially an 11-4, even a worse half.
Well, that's it. We've talked about it a lot. AGO are a momentum-based T-side team on the majority of maps. That's where they find their home ground in the majority of the rounds. But let's see if they can manage to pull it back as DreamEaters swing over to their T-side now on their map pick. We're looking for good skies, blue skies ahead.
Loot.bet, made for live betting.
So I was just taking a look at the previous matchup between AGO and DreamEaters here on Dust 2, and in actual fact, it shaped up very similarly. It was a 16-13 scoreline. DreamEaters won both pistol rounds, but as we tended towards the end of the halves, that's where AGO started to build up a lot of rounds. I mean, they won something like 8 or 9 rounds in a row, 8 rounds in a row on their T side. Last time they faced, this time AGO, with a similar feat, but a couple of rounds spread out. It's a 9-6 half, and last time DreamEaters faced AGO, they played a full T half rather, and they found 8 rounds. It's not bad. It's not good. It's kind of mid ground, but they'll need to do a little bit more than that, because it's 9 to even take us to overtime in total. As we look towards the pistol, things are actually looking good for AGO, and that kind of makes things look a little bit worse for DreamEaters, because with such a close scoreline previously, based around a pistol win. You said it yourself, Dean. It could have been a lot worse if they didn't win that initial pistol. Now we need to see them kind of pull this back, and they are doing so. Okay, Kinky and Sviat get all the kills, and Grubby and PHR have to clutch it out. PH has the assistance of Grubby. He's just, oh, look at this, just going to bait him in and let Grubby take this from on top of the box.
Sviat in a tough spot here, already low, trapped in between the crossfire. If he got Grubby, then maybe there was a chance for him to follow up with a quick headshot on towards the second. But sadly, that's not going to happen, as he does end up going down 10-6 with the second pistol round going in favor of AGO. Puts them in a real good position now to extend this lead a little bit further as an eco in this round, most likely for DreamEaters. And at that point, then we're looking at an 11-6 before the guns come out. If the first gun round then doesn't go in favor of DreamEaters, that's when I really lose all hope for the comeback happening.
Yeah, that's it. You don't, again, AGO, momentum-based team. They're better at the buy rounds in general. Pretty much every time they face DreamEaters, that's been the case. Certainly on every map, and indeed certainly right here. In this series, we've seen the same thing tend to be true. This should be just a sweep up now for the CTs. A little bit awkward for Sparrow there. But he's able to connect the third kill eventually and farm himself quite a lot of money. As DreamEaters look for anything in this round, it's only a Glock left over. Not the best. So thinking about things overall, I mean, 11-6, DreamEaters will pull out a full buy. Let's see what they're going to be up against. Well, AGO have got a lot of money stacked. Sparrow can even drop 2 M4s if he wants to and completely eliminate the SMG presence in this round. Takes out an AWP, though, which I don't think is too surprising for himself being a pretty dominant opper. The rest of his team, though, going to be happy to play this as a bonus round with the weapons they've carried forward. Grubby on an AUG and a couple SMGs alongside the FAMAS for Furlan. With full util to play with, it's not the worst spot in the world to be in. They can obviously reinvest into, not the next round, but the one after with a really strong bomb. Oh, they line up, though. Kinky only able for one Frulin does get significantly lit up, but even with that, the trades are not working out for the T side right now into a 3v4 with a man advantage for AGO. Even if it is only 25 HP, that player can still dish out the damage. And so we're looking for DreamEaters to pull it back, and they're thinking about taking it towards B to make that happen.
Looks to be the goal indeed. Although, just as you say that, Mitch, the bomb begins to make its way back around through spawn for the moment. So maybe that's not going to be the goal. Perhaps it's over towards long that they want to try and take it. For the moment, though, Caper is in position to try and hold that down. Playing up close against the doors. There's a smoke in place, so they should at least be cautious of the fact that he could be pushed up close. But if he can get even just one kill, delay this a little bit, drop that bomb to run the time down a couple of extra seconds, and just give his teammates the opportunity to rotate over, then there would be some success to be found. But here we go. Smoke's going in towards long now. It looks like DreamEaters, they are going for a little bit of an execute. Is it the wall of smoke's coming down? This is normally something you see very early on in the round, so this is an interesting approach. But Forlin, he's up close on long. He was ready to get this held down. I had it wrong previously with who was playing close. But either way, it's just as effective, because with those two frags coming through, it leaves Speedak alone without 25 seconds. As the bomb is picked up, I don't really give him much hope in this 1-on-3. And look at this, PH already aggressive on mid. May be able to just catch him off and spawn. Potentially even drop him after time if he waits long enough. But that's not needed, because Caper just gets the headshot anyway all the way up mid. And at least initially for the dink, finishes it off with the body.
So I think the problem for DreamEaters there is they very much play against their own style. On the CT side, we continuously saw them push A long. If they were going to maintain A long control and there was presence given towards B after A presence already shown, and they believed it was a rotation or a mid hit, they pushed A long almost every time. Right there, I think they're assuming that the players on the CT side have fallen back and taken control of short, so long would be open. They'd be able to push down or find a player maybe in the pit because he'd be playing more passive. But the whole idea of going to be there and showing the presence, they left one player outside of long to catch them as they push on through. But AGO are happy. When they've man advantages, they'll play it slow. They'll play it super passive and get themselves into positions where they stand a much better chance of catching players off guard, like you saw. 12-6. It's not a good spot right now. Things are starting to look pretty bad for DreamEaters. This is a round where they don't really have much right in winning. Just a couple of pistols, 2 smokes as well. Obviously, the intention here is to late on. Well, maybe take it towards A late on. With the 2 smokes in play, you'd imagine that's going to be cross smokes to get them to the bomb site and get the bomb planted. And again, we talk about these kind of rounds. Your objective number 1, don't die to SMGs. Well, there's none in play for AGO, so that's already done. Unless they get knife killed. Objective number 2, get the bomb planted. And alongside that, maybe get 2 to 3 kills. But that's not looking likely. Nade going through. Close enough, maybe? No, not quite close enough to take Forrester down. I think the little lip might have saved him. And objective number 3, win the round. But that's always going to be a difficult one. Really, if you're getting the bomb plant down, 50% of the times in rounds like this, and the other 50 you're finding a few kills, that's just fine.
Running through the Molotov, Crad is able to catch Sparrow off guard at least. The up will be picked up, so it's not too big of a deal as Furlan retrieves it. But yeah, 13-6, that's the issue right now for DreamEaters. It's such a long road ahead of them for them to try and pull this one back. And even if they do manage to pull it back here on Dust 2, there's still a third map that they have to take it on.
They have made it slightly easier for themselves with those kills, though, considering the fact that Grubby and Furlan both now have very low economy. Like I said, they've obtained their objectives in the previous round. They've done just as well as you can really hope from them. They don't get a bomb plant, but at least the damage in means if they win this round, they have the chance to chain some together. AGO holding down towards the B bomb site with a 2-man hold. Middle has seen short aggression coming through. Sparrow's just posted up at the op out in the open. The attempt is going to be made to take him down. Speed boosted up with an AWP. Oh, he just spotted the barrel. I think he's noticed, but it doesn't matter. Sparrow comes out and takes him down. A kill for the CT side. He's going to be bailing out of there and playing towards the A bomb side at this point. Spotting short for information, but not looking to stick around for fights. Caper here in CT's in a bit of danger. The Molotov isn't thrown. Crad kind of suspects a player to be coming in from long, or from B rather. He does make it out of there alive, but loses a lot of his HP being caught in the open with that flashbang, down to 6. As the direction for DreamEaters is uncertain, Sviat at least finds 1 kill, which opens up the possibility of a B split. They don't feel good about the mid control though, so they are only going to send one player around that middle area. Everybody else going to split through tunnels, and it's all on PHR to hold this down.
Oh, and it's not going to be easy, as you see. Taken down by Kinky. Put in some good damage, but Kinky Spam Drew actually gets a second frag on the Caper, who had previously been tagged up heavily. This looks like it is pretty much at this point the confirmed round in favor of DreamEaters, and as you said, with the damage that was done in those previous rounds, saving right now for Sparrow and Groovy is a necessity. It's the only real option they do have either way. But even with the save coming through, how is the buy going to be is the question. Sparrow will be able to drop the Furlan. Caper can buy for himself. PHR can as well. So they will be able to get a pretty good investment as long as both of these two players do manage to save over. But as you said, that previous round could have had some solid impact for DreamEaters, because if they can chain a couple together now, they will be able to run down the economy of AGO and give themselves an opportunity to build up a couple of easier rounds.
It seems like positions have almost been completely flipped since we moved away from Nuke. We're now, like last map, it was PHR up there with a huge performance, 26 for 9. And Furlan had a terrible game, 12 for 21 in the end. And very little impact. It was only a couple of rounds where he was really involved without being traded out, like where he himself was finding the kills. This time, 127 ADR, 21 for 15. Furlan is having a hell of a game, a hell of a turnaround, while PHR finds himself towards the bottom of the scoreboard. Not quite doing as poorly as Furlan was in the previous game, but I just found it funny how it's almost inverted itself. Oh, this is dangerous. The spam from Forrester is perfect to take down Grubby, and he's going to look for even more. The retreat is found on long, though. Caper is able to survive. Still a man disadvantage for very little traded back. Although Forrester's low HP, they lose a lot of map control. They're going to attempt to seize short on the back of giving up long, of course. But this is known. This is a fairly common strategy on the CT side. If you lose control of one of these two positions, you pretty much have to try and seize control of the other. Sviat should be ready for this. Conscious of a push towards middle. Not yet going to spot anybody, so now he can focus his attention back to short, but it gives enough time for Caper to get around that corner and catch him by surprise, putting it back into an even 4v4 situation. 12 HP on 2 players, 100 on 3 on each team. That's a unique situation for sure, but it's not going to last too long, I imagine. Forrester there was a little bit ballsy. He goes out on long, gives his position away. Now he's in danger. He's pretty much dead. He is dead. 12 HP all alone. No possibilities for trades. That's not what we'd like to see. But luckily elsewhere, we are going to see it pulled back to a 3-on-3.
Brad gets some good damage. Drops off into the Molotov, though, and takes some in return, as the bomb will finally be planted. And even though this is the 2 versus 3 right now, with the damage that is being done, this is such a winnable position. Oh, and Crad, yeah, able to force the angle again. Sparrow gets that kill. Speedak going to be able to drop Caper in towards tunnels, and suddenly it's left all on Furlan, trying to creep towards door. Crad is holding the angle, as Furlan realizes that that's a possibility and doesn't really want to go for this any longer. Dropped his M4 for a moment, a little bit of a fumble. Not too sure what that was about. But it looks like he may actually still try and go for this one. Walking in through the window. They think he may be backing off, I believe. Speedak, though, with the shoulder peek, gets the info. And that was a ballsy peek right there, but it works out. You can see opening kills currently being in favor of Groovy. 19 frags in total, 7 of those being opening frags. And the closest behind him is actually Kinky, who has 3. So he's had a lot of impact so far in this game.
Well, impact in this game is going to be non-existent for AGO, in this round rather. As, of course, it is a pretty one-sided one, you'd imagine, going in with literally nothing. But here's where things get interesting. The scope comes up from Sparrow. It's a glass cannon. Full investment from that young opera, as everybody else going to be taking out the rifles. Well, see, it used to be the rifles without the scope, but now that's just not the case with AUG making an appearance. We're taking out the non-one-shot body shot rifles. There we go. 13-9. This is a really important round for AGO. They try to seize short control. They fail to do so as Kinky catches them on the retreat. Caper's happy to trade. And Crad goes down as well with Sparrow pushing in through middle. A ballsy strategy, but one that works out. With a man advantage now in play for the CTs, we know how AGO play this. It's usually a passive game, so DreamEaters are the ones that are going to have to make the first move in making progress towards the bomb site. But look at this flank coming around. PHR is already in the T-spawn. He catches them off, finds one, bomb dropped, and then just bails. He doesn't bail out of there. He's sticking around. That's risky, and he gets dropped, even with low HP on Forrester. The fact that it's 2v3 makes this much more winnable for DreamEaters.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's going to be tough, though. Sviat creeping out on mid. A good bit of control potentially to be found. There's no one actually spotting this position at the moment. The smoke going to begin to fade fairly soon. He's just making sure all those close angles are clear. Forrester is sitting all the way back in suicide currently. The bomb is on his back. They're working with just under 40 seconds now. But Caper getting aggressive on short. If he gets cut off and gets taken down without being able to find anything at all, then that gives a real opportunity for DreamEaters to try and commit up to that A-bomb site. They'd have Sparrow still to deal with, but with him being on the op, as long as they could at least try it, that they'd be in a good position. But Caper, he finds an instant headshot, and that was onto the healthy player. That leaves Forrester now all alone, just over 15 seconds on the clock. He's going to try and run it towards B, but Caper is waiting for him. A single bullet's all that's needed. I don't think there's going to be too much struggle here, but let's see. Never mind, Forrester. That's a quick shot indeed with the pre-fire, the peek. He knew the angle. The bomb will at least be planted. That's a small bonus. A second was remaining as it went down. He takes the angle over towards tunnels. Don't give him these opportunities, please. It's the 1 versus 1. Op against op now. If Forrester pulls this off, it's a miracle. As Sparrow creeps up, the smoke beginning to fade away at the door. The angle's perfect. Forrester, how is he allowed to win that? AGO, you can't be giving that away. First one, okay. We'll give that to Forrester. But a wide swing on tunnels from Caper, that really wasn't needed. He should have just been waiting for Sparrow so they could work together on the retake.
Overconfidence to the max, I guess. I mean, PHR, like, not only in that 1v3, but then later on, when PHR, or earlier on, was PHR was peeking in the T-spawn, they just gave DreamEaters every opportunity they possibly could to come into that round, and now to come into the map and make this a 3-map series. I mean, 10-13, it's going to be 11-13. DreamEaters closing in the scoreline, getting a better economy as they go. They've already got stacked rifles, so AGO are fighting against full buys for the rest of this map. But so far, I mean, although we've said tending towards the end of halves, if once full buys start to come out, that's where AGO looks stronger. Right now, that does not seem to be the case. I don't know if they're just playing... no, I definitely do know. They're changing their strategy completely. I mean, we've seen it before. They find man advantages on the CT side and they play passive. This time, PHR goes aggressive in spawn. I liked the fact that they mixed it up because he was solo B. And they knew a lot of players were towards A. But the fact that he stuck around, I mean, that over-aggression isn't something we normally see coming through from AGO. And I can't help but feel they kind of took a bit of that mentality of, let's finish this, you know? We see it come through with some teams, but it's not very frequent these days to see a team get so overconfident against an opponent that is putting the hurt on them.
Yeah, it's getting awkward for AGO right now. This is, I think, where they do really begin to worry a little bit, because they've, as you said, they are a momentum-based team. They're kind of similar to what we've seen from those Polish teams in the past with the Plow, for example. Once they get rolling, they can be hard to stop, but if you manage to slow them down, you don't know what's going to happen. There's a real good opportunity. Forrester right now should at least be dropped. That's a positive. Never mind. He gets absolutely wrecked. Rather, Groupie gets absolutely wrecked. And Caper didn't decide to push instantaneously either to get the trade. I suppose he does already have an AK, so didn't want to risk it. Not really worthwhile. He doesn't have a lot to gain from it other than taking a weapon out of the hands of DreamEaters.
Carrying forward this AK is the best possible scenario, but he's being hunted down. You can see on the mini-map there, they're closing the distance. He finds one, trade it out. And with that coming through, I mean, 13-11. No weapon saved over. They still have the money, no problem for AGO, but it just would have been helpful to keep a little bit more money stacked. There's the stats up on the board. The ADR for Furlan, out of this world, 121. Consistently across 24 rounds, he's been impactful on a regular basis. And right now, they need him more than ever to step it up. They need everybody to step it up, because this is a round where utility is very much sought after. CTs have practically none to work with. You can see that, I mean, 30 seconds in, they've got a smoke and a nade left. So they're relying on winning these duels. The problem is, DreamEaters have got a lot to work with themselves. Still full util on most players. As they gain bottom-middle control, they're going to attempt to seize the mid control as well. And a split towards B is looking pretty likely if they can claim this effectively, especially if they find a kill. A very volatile position for AGO. They have to be very careful about these opening duels because DreamEaters haven't yet committed towards the bomb site. They're not coming into this round with direction. They're coming into it with the ability to switch up wherever they want to go. They've spotted an op on B, so that should swing them towards the A bomb side and right into the crosshair of Sparrow.
Not able to connect the shot though. Sparrow does get tagged up and with that forced to fall back off. Groovy here to assist though. Smoke gonna go down towards short and in towards CT, I believe, giving them the opportunity to try and drop down if they do wish to do so. But they find Groovy, and now Sparrow, low HP, needs to try and connect these shots to put them into a favorable position, but isn't able to connect it initially. But the flank from PHR is good for one, but that's all. At 3 versus 3, the equal trades, it is going to favor DreamEaters, especially as that bomb now goes down. This is going to be really difficult indeed. There is a defuse kit at least in play, but no utility. There's not a smoke to block off short. Speedak though out in the open certainly could get caught off guard. Caper gets the first and the second, and they know that Speedak's trapped in towards Gandalf right now. The up in play, he gets the first, but that's all. There's enough time for the defuse, of course, plenty with or without the defuse kit, as that is going to be AGO finally picking up another round and not being retrieved as well as the secondary will come into play now. DreamEaters, though, of course, they built up a pretty solid economy, so they're not going to struggle to buy anytime soon.
This is scary right now. The push coming out from Kinky. He's going to catch players off by surprise. A second. No, he doesn't find it. Caper surviving on such low HP. Eventually finds the kill. The hunt coming down, though. Krad's able for the spray down in the smoke. Only one bullet was needed onto Caper. And so we're into a 2 versus 3. DreamEaters feeling good, looking good. They've got map control, ability to push that B bomb site completely uncontested. Things look bad now. DreamEaters actually starting to rotate over towards the A bomb site. They're not going to know that PHR is pushed up so aggressively.
Oh, PHR is a good position, though. Timing a bit unfortunate. Looks a little bit to the side. Sviak gonna spot him out and take him down as now Forlin. He makes his way over towards mid, hoping to maybe catch another player coming a bit later across mid, but not really going to be given the opportunity. They have already advanced out long, of course. Smoke going to go down towards CT. That's actually perfect for blocking off Forlin from having any vision. He hears the smoke, though, I believe. So he's going to try and get forward of it, even perhaps slightly blocks it. But is he going to be able to get this done? He's in the corner. Needs to get that first shot quickly. And then look to try and get a little bit more done, but the flash is perfect to keep him off the angle for the moment, but he gets the peak in the end. Speedak goes down, but Sviat with a quick trade, as DreamEaters do quickly return around. And it was a good start as well for AGO. After being able to find those 2 frags, the problem was Kinky, although he only got 1, he did still do some pretty solid damage, allowed for Krad to, of course, come in with this quick double, and the second one being through the smoke. A big round for DreamEaters to find, and it keeps them in this game, as the economy now of AGO is in a really weak position.
And this economy for DreamEaters, just allowing them to get those buys up again and again. But AGO sadly not in the same position, so we are going to see that 14-13. We're getting a nice close map number 2. And despite the fact that AGO are looking like the stronger team in general on Dust, they've got a better win rate, but they don't play it as much, I suppose. Nearly half as much as DreamEaters. To take into consideration, the last time these guys played, it was 16-13. The real problem here, I guess, for AGO, though, is that they only have 1 shot at closing this. The DreamEaters are going to be 14-13. AGO will find a full buy. That's when the opportunity comes about. I mean, this round's pretty much over and done with. PHR is just hoping to catch somebody off, getting aggressive on B, trying to hunt down so we can carry a rifle forward to the next round. Really, we're looking at a 14-13 scoreline. AGO with a full buy. If they lose that, then they're talking about a 15-14, and they'll have to fight for overtime with their next buy. One last chance, one last opportunity.
I just realized that DreamEaters and AGO have another game right after this one. It's a best of one.
Oh, really?
But they're taking each other on at 4 o'clock as well, yeah. I was looking at HLTV.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Kalashnikov. That's a Swiss round 1-1. So that's this is going to be a long series between these guys then. They're going to play map 3 whether they like it or not.
But yeah, map 3 in this series alone is looking possible at this point. Very, very possible. As you said, AGO, they come onto the buy now. They need to make this one count. Otherwise, there's a good opportunity for it to be equalized and potentially brought up to even a map point then for the DreamEaters side. You can see the comparison currently. Forrester and Caper, two players that have been stepping up again. Forrester struggled on that first map, and he hasn't on this one. He's been having a much better performance, and that seems like it may actually be the difference maker.
Well, here's the pause. It's the big brain pause so AGO can get a couple words in and think about exactly what investment they're going for. Do we want a double op setup here? With that head armor? Oh, yes, we do. Furlan's going to take it out. He's feeling the scope. Everybody else feeling the scope as well as they take out the AUGs. Util is going to be hard enough to come by in this round for them, but with AWPs in play and indeed AUGs, Util can kind of take the back foot. They don't have to worry too much about it. Smoking the cross, but the cross is not what they're looking for. Going to find the peak on middle, and Furlan just about misses that shot. Pushing B, lots of damage going to be taken by the Molotov. Krad goes down, so does Fiat. What a disaster of a round. PHR is able to take them all out. They didn't know the molly was still there, flashbanged as well, and a two-piece with the Molotov. Oh my word. That is not a good way to start off a round that's so important as well. DreamEaters had the chance to take this to match point just by winning this round here. And now they're in a 2v5. Same stakes on the table. But their potential to make this happen is certainly a lot lower. Oh, it's only getting worse.
Yeah, it's certainly not a good way to start off this round, and not a good way to potentially end the game either. Again, 16-13 the previous time that these two teams fought on Dust 2 could be the exact same result potentially. Forrester and Speedak. Oh, Forrester actually does hit a quick headshot. Again, he's been playing quite well in this game so far, so maybe there is an opportunity for them to pull this one back. Bomb goes down at least. As it comes to the 2 versus 4. Speedak's low, but he does at least have the AWP, so if he can hit those quick shots, we know there's an opportunity. Oh, PHR, he hit the angle almost perfectly lined up. It's a little bit harder to make that work than it was on the old Dust 2, of course, not as much room. Speedak gets one, but does he expect another to be in the same position? PHR has the opportunity to try and catch him off guard. Caper gets one, and Speedak goes down as well. That's map and serious point now for AGO, as the defuse is indeed going to come true. No defuse kit in the possession of the player who's currently defusing, but I don't think that's really too big of a deal. There is enough time, of course. It's close. Would have been nicer to see the kit go for it just in case, but they knew they had it.
Got your music kits on. Obviously, you know that once you start hearing the finished songs coming on, that's when the bomb's about to explode. Obviously, if you're obviously if you're using any other kit than the one that was horrendously demonstrated by Dean, then you're a noob. So
yeah, no, I haven't actually really listened to it much because I don't have any music kits. I also leave the music off. I've got the 10-second warning volume. That's it, man. The rest of it's useless.
No, every time a round ends, you need that easy for ends. It's so good, dude.
Nah, man, it kills me. Music in general. I mean, I'm sure that's okay, but I would probably want to drill a hole in my brain after, like, maybe a week using it.
I don't support that message. I like the music kits. Well, look at this. This could be the last round. DreamEaters obviously had the economy, the e-money. I was about to say e-money.
I mean,
Stacked up.
technically, e-money.
But it is e-money, yeah, exactly. E with a capital E and a hyphen, just so Red Eyes is gonna love it. It's now what we call the CS:GO
And
economy.
with 2 E's at the end instead of a Y.
Oh yes, now you're getting it. Now we're making and the first E is capitalized, but not the second one.
But the last one is.
It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. Look at this. DreamEaters are starting to make some progress towards the A bomb side. 3-2 setup. They're gonna come up through short. Krad's in danger here, but catches the angle. Going out for more as well. Berlin makes it out alive. Oh, and the shot from Grubby gonna pull it back. There's a massive gap in that smoke. Low HP on Kinky as well as he took the fight. Oh, switching over to the AUG here. Good decision. Furlan able for one. Sparrow gets caught out on short, and this could be awkward with such low HP. Kinky's managed to have huge impact on the round now, putting a man advantage in play for the T side, picking up the bomb and going for the plant. Smoke goes down. There's no money in the bank for AGO in the next round. This could be an overtime, almost definitely secured, unless Furlan's able to pull off a 1v3, swinging out on long. He misses the opening shots, and this should be it. Surely, there's one on the board. A second on Kinky could be very easily connected. It's all on Sviat here to make a play. Fake reload comes in, but Sviat's already swung out way too far, so 15-14. We're on track for an overtime. AGO have one last chance. It's with a very weak buy. Utility's going to be lacking, and rifles won't make too much of an appearance either.
Yeah, this is a little bit awkward. There's a real good opportunity right now for this to be pulled towards overtime for DreamEaters. As Speedak even opens it up. Sparrow, he gets tagged down, doesn't even exchange the damage. And suddenly a 5-on-4 heavily favoring DreamEaters is going in their favor. This has been an amazing recovery so far. Can they keep it up? Gruby still alive, Furlan as well, Caper. Although with a couple SMGs in play, it's certainly not ideal.
Opening it up, at least 1-for-1 trades. With the kind of buy coming through from AGO, that's better than maybe you'd expect. Sparrow's gone down low, peeks out on mid, and Speed actually catches him. Looked like he was looking at tunnels there. Maybe a bit of a flick coming through. A lot of pressure now on Grubby. He's got his M4 out, push coming on through. Doesn't react. Taken down. Just completely destroyed on short. And this retake is going to be a very difficult one indeed. Cut off by tunnels. Caper's going to be taken down. It's all on Furlan. A 1v4 with an MP9. Kinky is 1 HP in tunnels, so potential to pick up a weapon at least. But all in all, this should be a very, very easy round for DreamEaters and an overtime secured.
Yeah, they've done a great comeback so far. It was 13-6 at one point, if I remember correctly. And since then, DreamEaters have come out on top of the vast majority of these gun rounds. Everyone contributing as well, pretty much over on that DreamEaters side. PHR actually not having a great game, though, for AGO. That is not good to see, because he's normally one of the better fraggers.
Yeah, he was certainly the top fragger in the previous map, of course, having an absolutely stellar performance over on Nuke, 26 for 9. Finishing that off with 94 ADR as well. But right here, he's not having the same kind of performance. It's Furlan really stepping it up and changing his position on the scoreboard. Like we said, last map, he was bottom. He wasn't too impactful in most of the rounds. It's only kind of 2 or 3 rounds that he really had an effect on. But right here, he's been almost every single round he's been a part of.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.
Well, Well, we're here in overtime number 1, where AGO are going to attempt to overthrow DreamEaters 2-0 in the series for the second time. As Dean pointed out, they're also playing each other later on, in like an hour, in the Kalashnikov Cup as well. So they're going to be very familiar with each other's play style by then, that's for sure. We're here on Dust 2, the map pick of DreamEaters, and they just about managed to bring us to an overtime as push comes towards the B-bomb side. Look at this aggression. The first time we've seen DreamEaters be so aggressive down mid with a very early split. Krad goes down, though, to the AWP of Furlan as he thought he was about to catch PHR off guard. Push coming through. Tunnel spam from Furlan. Gets one through the smoke. He sees one up on top of the box, but not able to return the kill. And so we're into a 2v2 despite a great opening defense. It is DreamEaters that come ahead. Once they get this bomb down, it's going to be very hard to retake. That Molotov's going to cause some problems. Actually, no, it didn't go as far as I thought.
Yeah, and this round just quickly spiraled out of control for the side of AGO. They're going to be going for a 1-1 split on the retake. Caper over towards Tunnels actually does get the spam through onto Sviat, and now Speedak is all alone. They need to peek him together, though. He has the op ready, but it's not going to matter because Sparrow hits the shot either way. The defuse is going to come in, and that's AGO picking up the opening round here in overtime. But again, a lot closer than it was looking to be. It was a 2-man advantage at one point, then we seen 3 really quick frags being pulled back from DreamEaters. It gave them the opportunity, but a very solid retake as well coming through. Not as coordinated as it could have been, but they connected the shots, they used the utility well, and they kick it off by reclaiming the lead.
16-15, reclaiming the lead indeed. AGO are ahead, and now it's DreamEaters that need to find at least one round on the board before they get weeded out of this. As AGO start to get themselves some progress. And we talked about it before, you know, this is a team that very much like to play off momentum. AGO strong on the T side. If they're able to have a convincing CT side performance to start things off here, I am not feeling good about DreamEaters. I almost want to see Dream taking this 2-1 just to guarantee themselves, or go pretty far to guaranteeing themselves a second OT. If AGO even manage to find 2, I think that they have a very, very solid chance to close this out, considering their T side has just been so much stronger, on both maps so far. DreamEaters slowing down their approach. They're playing a much different game now, focusing over towards short. They have a player outside along. They're hoping to catch some AGO players off guard. But I think so far, when they've opened up battles from short, they've had a lot of success. Smoking off the crosshair and towards CT really negates the AWP player of Sparrow on the cross. He's only going to have a very small angle to try and catch the kills. Smoke goes down to make sure that angle becomes literally non-existent. So up on top of the car, he tries to go, but the Molotov takes him out of the game again as the push comes through from Grubby. He's out of here, and a great read from DreamEaters on how this is being played. Nice shot by Sparrow through the smoke. Now has control of the bomb. I don't think he knows that. And as they peek out, they take him down and put it into a 3v3 speed, opening that up with an op. I mean, you could see the control they had over them there. They knew exactly what AGO were about to do. Great shot by Speed. Almost guarantees the round now in a 2v3. A very difficult retake is afoot.
Yeah, it certainly is. PHR and low HP is the one pushing up through short. Is going to have 2 players to deal with. It's a solid setup as well with one playing anti-flash, and either way, Krat just came straight in with the frag with only 1 bullet needing to be connected. It's all on Furlan. He gets the first. May as well go for it, of course. Plenty of money in the bank with only 1 round left in the OT, but the bomb already ticking away. Trades to the AK. A chance for the first frag, I was going to say, but Forrester just swings. And that is going to be 16-16 as, again, the scoreline is equalized. It's been such a back-and-forth game so far, Mitch. Of course, as I said, plenty of money for the buy to come back out for AGO, but ideally they need to pick up the second round here to put themselves in a position that they would be really happy with heading onto that second half. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough one. If they end up losing this, then they need all 3 on that T side. We know they're capable of it after a great T side initially, but we've seen DreamEaters warm up since then.
I do think a 2-1 for DreamEaters pushes the likelihood of a second OT into fruition. It's AGO with 1 round on the board on their CT side is pretty much the same win rate as what we saw in regulation. They probably know that, and the third round would be very impactful for them. But DreamEaters doing a great job of negating these AWP players with the utility usage. The problem is now about to run into Caper again. He manages to dodge the opening shot, bail out of there. Two-man advantage in play for the CTs, and we know that generally this is where we see AGO play that more passive game. Molotov goes in to delay the time a little bit longer. As Crad is pushing up on short, he decides to halt that aggression. I think rightfully so. Actually, he's crouch peeking it now. Very slowly moving forward, and that's kind of why I said rightfully so. 21 HP on the board already. He's down pretty low. Smoke goes down, but he hasn't got the bomb, so closing in on that bomb site does nothing for him as he falls. Nobody's there to trade. The bomb's now down. I thought he would have went back short to support his teammates, but he wants to play the solo game and gets punished for it.
Indeed he does. 17 to 16. AGO do end up with a lead as we head into the second half of this overtime. Are they going to be able to close it out, though? Because we did see them struggle a little bit. I guess the positive is this time it was the CT side that they're able to come out with that lead with. During regulation, they had a great T side. CT, they struggled. I guess partly due to the fact that they were a lot of the time kind of struggling to get the buyout in general. But now they're back on the T side where they seemingly did feel a lot more comfortable. Are they going to be able to close it out, or have DreamEaters been given the time to warm up, and have they been given the time to adapt the CT side to what they've come to expect of AGO?
Well, I still feel good about AGO closing this out 2-0. They're my favorites coming into the series, I think, for both of us, for sure. And looking at their performance right now with how Furlan's stepping it up at a level that we just really don't expect from him on Dust 2 after the previous performance as well. It's a very, very difficult hurdle to overcome for DreamEaters right now. It's an obstacle. Well, let's see if they're going to be able to tear that obstacle down. As it's 17 to 16 in favor of AGO coming onto their T side, their better side. We talked about this. Their buy rounds are generally the ones that they win on the T side. So this is effectively late half of the initial of regulation of half number 1. And okay, goodbye Forrester. He's low HP already. Spam's coming down middle. Sparrow does get lit up a little bit, but he's not too worried. He's returned the damage. He doesn't know that, but it's looking good statistically. Still, that battle favors AGO. And stacking up, they're playing that slow game. They're looking for middle control early on, making sure there's no tunnels push, making sure long is clear as well. And now they can just focus their attention on short and middle. Short tends to be, in this matchup anyways, the hot spot. It's where most of the combat's gone down. And although they do claim middle control, AGO very infrequently do go for B-splits.
Yeah, but it is still a position that they will need to be careful of. For now, the bomb, of course, outside long as we can see. PHR is the one to push out mid on his own, actually gets spammed down through the smoke, returning a good bit of damage. Actually, no, sorry, that was, of course, the op early on that done that damage to Forrester. So, a little bit awkward that he does end up getting taken down. Bit of a fortunate spam for Forrester in general as well, because if he hadn't hit that immediately, the spam could have came back and returned towards the Tracer. So 5-on-4, DreamEaters put themselves in a solid position. There's not a lot of time for AGO to work with, as we do just hit 30 seconds now, so they need to get a move on. It looks like they aim towards A. They've left Groovy over in the tunnel, so it's going to be up to these 3 players that lead the way to really get the majority of the work done, to actually even give them an opportunity in this round. And as you can see, Speedak gets 1, Sviak going to do the same. Although there is a trade from Caper, they're left in a 2-on-4. It's a very tough position to try and recover from.
Oh man, Caper checks. There we go. Close right, but he doesn't spot Forrester out. It's all on Sparrow. AWP to hold down. Finds 1. They're closing in the distance, though, coming in through the ramp. Most importantly, through short, where Crad finds that kill from, and now the defuse to go down. It is going to be 17 to 17, all tied up here, as an overtime becomes even more likely. AGO now need only 1 round to guarantee that. No sense in talking about the economy, as of course this is going to be OT. They're not going to be OT, it is OT, but it's going to be that 16k economy that we see coming through. So there's no way that a team goes for an eco unless they buy 5 ops 2 rounds in a row. Full utility, armor, and lose both of those rounds. Even at that, you still have enough money to get your AKs out. Yeah,
this is looking difficult though for AGO, especially with Forlan being low already. They do at least get some good control in the meantime. They were able to get out long, of course. Looking to maybe try and get short as well, but PH are actually alone towards this position for the moment. Will need some help if they want to go for it. Oh, he's going in with a flash, but up close, Kinky's able to avoid it. A very easy frag being found, as Groovy may have an opportunity to trade it back on mid. Just as I said, though, a flash comes true, and now the aggression from the CT is going to continue on short. Forrester pushed through tunnels as well. It's just so aggressive from DreamEaters and AGO. They just didn't expect it.
No, they didn't, and they're being punished for it. AGO generally play this much slower, but now into a 2v4, getting the bomb plant on the bomb side. But again, the economy benefits are null and void. It's all about winning the round. Kinky's going to be lit down low, but Speed returns the kill onto Furlan, leaving only Caper find a 1v4. He's been having a pretty good game so far, but this is a big ask of him, and he doesn't even find one kill, as the bomb is going to be defused yet again. DreamEaters now 1 point away from finding themselves, closing out the map. And bringing us to map number 3. This is 18-17 on Dust 2. Last time they played, it was 16-13. We said it was a close map. We said this would be a close map again. A repeat almost of previously, but this time DreamEaters are the ones that are ahead towards the end. One more round of the board. Double op setup comes through. Speed and Crad again taking them. As AGO have 3 ops early on to try and catch a kill on the cross.
Yeah, you can do that. Trade it back out for the rifles then, but they need to win this one just to keep themselves alive currently. It's not going to be an easy one. The boost coming in to try and catch this short aggression that has been coming through pretty regularly, in all honesty, by DreamEaters. They were doing it a lot during the regulation as well. But the current setup from DreamEaters actually is a bit of a beast stack coming through. AGO, if they were to take this towards short and could successfully trade Speedak, they'd have a pretty much open A bomb site then, because Fiat is over towards long. I think Speedak kind of realizes that as well and doesn't want to stick around too aggressively anymore. What's the plan for AGO, though, is the question. If they take it out mid, they have Kinky to deal with. And then a couple players still on the B bomb site as well, including the Oppa Crad.
There we go. Speed takes the opening kill onto Furlan. The CT side looking good to bring this to a third map. AGO fall behind. They start to refocus. They're not thinking about short anymore. Instead, going over towards middle. We said they don't go for B splits all too often, but it looks like now setting up for the cross smokes on middle. That might be what they're going for. 3 players stacked up towards that B bomb site, though. This is the wrong time to go for a B split, that's for sure. Making sure nobody peeks up on top of the boxes either. And now here they come, pushing on forward. Kinky's in position to catch them off. Speed gets one on the cross, and there we go. It's all over. Kinky swinging out for the final kill, and he finds it 19-17. That is the end of map number 2. We hit an overtime, but in the end, DreamEaters were able to take us all the way to map number 3. We're going to be heading on over there in just a couple of minutes, but before that, it's going to be a real quick break. We'll see Overpass in just a minute.
Loot.bet. Made for live betting.